Hello, my stamping friends. My name is Holly Peterson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And today we're going to make this cute just because card. You could use it for any occasion using the Scalloped Wishes Bundle. And the embossing folder that I used is Lovely Stripes. Unfortunately, it's no longer available. But that's the embossing folder that I used. And the Scalloped Wishes dies are not available right now. The stamp set is, but the dies in the bundle are not. Expected back into the warehouse the week of May 18th. So I'll set this aside and I'll show you the dimensions. So we have basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Secret C that measures 3 3/4 by 5. And again, it's embossed with the Lovely Stripes. You can use any folder that you have. I have basic white, 2 by 2 3/4, die cut with the Scalloped Wishes dies. Basic white, 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I've already die cut the wheat images. I'm going to show you how I had them stamp that in class. We have Delicate Dreams designer paper, 1 by 4 1/4. Blackberry Bliss, 3/4 by 4. And Delicate Dreams designer paper, 4 by 1/2. Okay, we have a little piece of baker's twine. I'll show you a trick to get that so it's not so curly. And I'm going to set this aside. To stamp the cattails, I think I called them wheat images before. The cattails, we're going to use the Stampin' Positioner. And I've cut out a template, and then I die cut all of the images for my stampers for class. So we're going to just put that back in there. I've got the stamp on the skinny arm where it needs to be, and then a stamping spot with crumb cake. I might need a darker crumb cake, so I'm going to use my big pad here. And then there's little holes here. They go on these pegs. And then you just push down. I'm going to hold it for just a few seconds and let all that ink transfer. And there we have our cattails. On my original one, I did color with my Stampin' Right markers. I know they're no longer available. So I saw Rachel Tessman. We have this trio of little punches, and she used the long skinny one to punch out the actual cattails. So that's what I'm going to do for mine. And then you're going to just glue them on. And they're a little bit longer, so you could cut them down if you wanted to. I didn't mind them being that long. So we'll just set that one aside. And then let's do our Scalloped Wishes die here. have some scratch paper. Okay, so I'm using Misty Moonlight, and I like using on a small image like this, I like using the small blending brushes. I'm just going to pick up some ink here, rub off a little bit, and I want the top half in the Misty Moonlight. And I don't want it really, really dark, so I'm holding my brush all the way back here. Helps me get such a lighter touch to my ink blending. Okay, I think that looks good for the blue. And then I'm going to take Old Olive pick up some ink. And then just kind of blend the two lines together, not a whole lot, but I did have them meet, and I like that. So we'll call that good. We're going to use Blackberry Bliss. And the little hello. And I'm just going to stamp that off to the right here. Close up all these ink pads. Okay, with that, we are ready to start assembly. Get all my sticky notes off here. Even though I've scored this, I'm going to reinforce it with my bone folder. Gives it a nice crisp crease. Our emboss layer is just going to get adhered to the card front. And then the large piece of designer paper, we're going to just adhere to the left there. And then the Blackberry Bliss. Hope I don't have a silicone mat here. Usually when my seal doesn't cooperate, I like to get it started on a silicone mat. This is going to get popped up with dimensionals. Then if you have twine, linen thread or baker's twine, and it's too curly for you, you can take your bone folder and just run it through your finger in your bone folder, and it makes it behave a little bit better, not quite so curly. So then what I did here was I just tied a big loopy bow. I'm going to attach that with a glue dot. And then we'll use Stampin' Dimensionals on our cattails. I'll put one at the top and one at the bottom, so that knot will be right in the middle there. Like that. To finish off the front of the card, I'm using the Moody Palette Glossy Dots, and I'm going to use the Old Olive ones. And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool. And I just come from the side and push it off. Like that. For the inside, I'm just going to adhere the designer paper along the bottom here. And then this stamp set has this little dragonfly. So I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight and I'm just going to put a little dragonfly here. And on this envelope, I stamped the cattails. On this one, I'm just going to stamp some of the dragonflies. Oops. Like that. And then to kind of make their wings shiny, I'm going to take some Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to color the wings. That reactivates the ink and pulls some of the color into the wings. And I'll do that on the envelope as well. Can never have too much sparkle, right, in your life? I like things that sparkle. And there we have a really cute Just Because card you can send out for any occasion. Thanks for stopping by and watching my video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.